Sneaking in the time to run. Man, everybody's just so busy. I'm super busy. And I'm on day 46, maybe 47 right now, probably 46 days in a row of running. And today was the most challenging. It was the hardest for me to sneak in today. Usually I try to get out for 3 to 6 miles. On the weekends I get out for a little more, up to 10 to 16. I've been averaging about 35, 36 miles a week right now is what my average has been. So, a friend goes, man, I wish I had more time to run, Marcus. I wish I had all the time like you. And the fact of the matter is, I don't have much time to run. I can barely get out. Today was an extremely, extremely challenging day. I was in my office all day working. I'm behind on some projects. My wife texts me and goes about our daughter. Courtney has to get to the orthodontist. Meantime, right now it is 2:10 when she texts me. She goes, our daughter needs to get to the orthodontist. I'm building a web page with all the SEO stuff on it, all the keywords, meta tags, all that. She goes, and I have to get this web page up today. It's got to get up. So she texts me. She goes, they had an appointment available at the orthodontist. You have to leave at 2:30. It's a 3 o'clock appointment. It's a half an hour away. Meantime, it was 2:10, and I probably got a good 8, 9, 10 minutes left on this web page that I got to get up and get posted for an event. And I was like, man, oh man. So what I did was busted out the web page, ran 1 mile. My goal, my mindset is just run 1 mile. That's it. If I can get out and run 1 mile, the rest will happen naturally. And that's been my goal since I started this whole running in a day, running consecutive days. I originally started out, and about at day 20, a friend of mine said, hey Marcus, it's your 43rd birthday in April. You should run for 43 days in a row. Get some mileage. Clock some mileage out there. And I said, wow, that's an awesome goal. Turning 43, beautiful. When I turned 40, I ran, I think, like 1,500 miles that year. 2 years when I was 41, I ran 2,000 miles. So it's like 43 days in a row is an awesome little goal to do. Man, get out there for 43 days, because last year I was not my worst running year in about 4 years. I had no motivation last year. I lacked discipline. I had gained some weight. I was eating food that I wasn't supposed to be eating. I was in a high-stress situation, opening a new restaurant, which I'm no longer involved in. I was able to get out of that, thank goodness, because that was just consuming all of my mental energy. It was just driving me crazy, and I wasn't running like I should have been. I was eating out of comfort. I was eating out of stress, and I was eating way too many bad foods, and the weight just came on like that. And I was like, ouch. Before I knew it, I was 190, but I started at 190. Before I knew it, I was like 210. I'm finally back to under 200 pounds. But the more I run, the more I want to eat good. It's really how those two work synergistically. The more you work out, or the more you eat better, the more you want to do the other. So today I ran out. I got an 8-minute mile in. I got back to my office, uploaded my run. I was ready to walk out the door at 2:30 with 1 mile under my belt today. And I was like, cool, 1 mile. I got out there. I did it. I didn't change my running clothes. I didn't have time to change my running clothes. I drove to a city called Middletown, which is a half an hour from us. As I'm pulling up, I looked at my daughter and I go, you know, you're just getting your bracket fixed. I said, I bet I can get 1 more mile in today. Let's bring it up to 2 miles. So gave her the car key. She went inside. I said, just text me when you're going in or when you're done. And before I knew it, I got the text message. I was over 3 miles into the run. 3 8-minute miles, 24 minutes, 25 minutes I was out there for. She was done. It was perfect. We got in the car. I dropped her off at the horse barn, and I am on my way home right now to my next appointment. I have to work tonight. I have a Chamber of Commerce meeting. I have an appointment with a salesperson as soon as I get back. I'll barely have enough time to take a shower. So it's just one of those things where I don't really have the time. The average person today would have said, there's no way I can run today. There's no way I'm doing it. I'll take a day off and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, what's the temperature going to be tonight? Because if I don't get to run now, I'll at least get to run at 10 o'clock tonight. And again, 1 mile. I think a lot of people's, when they set these goals of running, like I set a goal of running 2,000 miles last year, and I knew I had to run, 5 miles a day, whatever it was. I knew I had to run that many miles a day per day. And at some points, I was exhausted from that. I was like, just thinking, like, I missed a day, and now I got to make up that day plus the mileage. Now I got to run 10 miles. It kind of screwed with me. It really screwed me, because the goal was too big. It was that when I skipped a day, it wasn't the right way I framed the goal. The goal this year, I might run 2,000 miles. In fact, I'm on my way well to 2,000 miles. But my goal wasn't to run 2,000 miles. It was to run at least 1 mile a day. See the major difference in that language? Than running 2,000 miles and setting a goal at some huge number. Now my goal is run 1 mile a day. But that never happens at 1 mile, because 1 mile is always 2, 2 is always 3, 3 is always 6. So it just seems like it builds upon each other. So now I say to myself, I can do 1 mile. And of course, today was that day where I barely had time to fit 1 mile in, and I rocked out almost 4.5 miles with just having room for 1 mile. So my friend is texting me, hey, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you have the time. I don't have the time that you have. Being a restaurant owner and being a workaholic, I got to tell you, and having 2 kids and trying to spend time with my wife, and I do make my wife a priority a lot of times. I try to, go home with her at night. I don't try to stay in my office and work late, even though I love to work late in my office and get things done. I can easily sit at the computer and all of a sudden start recording content or building web pages or do marketing promotions, sit there and run numbers, analytics, crunch numbers. I can easily sit there till 3 a.m. But lately I've been feeling bad because I don't like to do that. I don't like to leave my wife in bed by herself. She doesn't sleep as well. And, what's there in life if you can't even enjoy your own bed? So even though I didn't do that often, she knows that I like to work at night. She knows that I get the most done, and she knows I'm very productive. So it's all a balancing act. What I'm trying to say is everything is a balancing act. And unless you consciously make a commitment, because 2015, I did not make a commitment. Did not make a commitment to doing running, to taking care of myself, to eating right. That was no commitment, no discipline, and I have myself to blame. I can blame all the stress I want. I can blame all the other restaurant I want, this and that. The bottom line was I didn't make a commitment, and I didn't do it. In 2016, I'm doing it. I got to tell you, January was a total repeat of 2015. My January 2016, I think I did 30 miles the whole month. That was it. I'm doing 35, 36 miles a week right now. That was it. So just like that, it changed just like that. I said, you know what? I'm going to start running again. I surrounded myself with people that are runners. I got the energy from them. And I was like, man, if they can do it, I can do it. Then I went on Facebook and I saw days where people are out there, icicles coming off their face. It was -1 degree. One friend went out one day when it was -10 degree, and I saw him bundled up. And I said, if Ken can do that, if so-and-so can do that, why can't I? Why can't I go out there and do what they're doing? There's no excuse. And the people that aren't runners were the ones making excuses for me. Like, oh, it's too cold for you out there. You're going to get injured. You're going to get hurt. It's too cold on your lungs. You're going to get frostbite, this and that. Those were the people that were making excuses for me. I didn't have to make excuses, because believe me, when you're a runner, a lot of people think of you as a nut, as some lunatic, as some crazy person. And those people will validate that and make you feel right at home with them and make you feel good, not about running. They're flat out do it. They're not intentionally doing it, but that's just the way that we're trained, that people like us are just nuts, that we're nuts and we need an examination and our brain is off and this and that. And why would you put your body through all that extreme? And I got to tell you, 45, 46 days straight, there's no extreme going on here. There's no body pains. There's no aches. There's none of that. It's just awesome eating, awesome running, awesome energy. The weight's coming off. I feel fantastic. And that's it. So don't make excuses. Get out there and run, even if it's just for 1 mile. 1 mile makes a difference. It's a starting place.